boys and girls, welcome back. All right, so our activity for today is going to be over measuring. Now, sometimes when we measure things, we don't always use a ruler or a tape measure. Sometimes in class we have used linking cubes, you can use teddy bears, you can use a piece of string. There's all different things that you can measure with, and today we are going to use a spoon. Now, everybody's going to get a spoon, and when we do this, the items that you're going to measure, I have on a piece of paper for you to tell you what to measure, but to show you how to do it, I have just a couple placemats here that I'm going to show you. So if I wanted to see how many spoons long this way my placemat is, I make sure to start my spoon all the way at the end. Okay, so there's one. Now to do the spoon, all you have to do is flip it. There's two. And then I can't quite get a third. See, there's some more left on there. So I could say that that's about 2.5, or I would put almost 3, because it needs more than 2, but not quite 3. Now, if I wanted to know how tall it was, I would start at the bottom, very edge, and I would go 1, and then you flip the spoon. Uh-oh, still not quite 2, but it's more than 1. So I could say that it's about 2.5, or I could say that it's, 1.5, or I could say that it's almost 2 spoons tall. Okay, let's put that one down. Okay, and I have another placemat here. So if I wanted to know how wide it was, we do the same thing. We start at the very edge, there's 1, and then if we flip it, there's 2. So we would say that this placemat was 2 spoons wide. Well, now if we wanted to see how tall it was, do the same thing. We're going to pick the tallest point here. There's 1, and then we're going to flip our spoon, and it goes all the way to the edge there also. So we would say that it's also 2 spoons tall. And that was just a placemat that I had here at home. Now, there's going to be different things around your house that I want you to try to measure with your spoon, and I don't care what kind of spoon you get. I have a bigger spoon here, more like a tablespoon. You can get a smaller spoon, a wooden spoon. You can get one of the spoons from the kitchen, like the big plastic ones that you use to dish out food, a bigger one. It doesn't matter, as long as it's a spoon. That way we're all using the same thing. Now, on here, I'm going to put this chart of things to measure. You can either print this off, or you can just record it on a separate piece of paper. Just make sure you number them, and just put number 1, table, number 2, stove, number 3, and then how many spoons it is. So that way we know what you measured and how many spoons tall or wide it was. So some of the items that I would like for you to measure with your spoon is measure how long your table is. Now, it could be your kitchen table, dining room table, maybe a coffee table, just whatever kind of table it is, write it on there, and then measure it with your spoons like we just did, and write how many spoons long that table is. The next one is your stove. I want you to measure how tall your stove is. So from the ground to the top of your stove, I want you to see how many spoons tall that is. And then I want to see for your refrigerator, how wide is your refrigerator from one side to the other. Measure how many spoons wide your refrigerator is. Now, if you have a refrigerator that's a refrigerator on one side and a freezer on the other and has the 2 doors, go ahead and measure how wide that is all the way across. The next is your TV. See how many spoons wide your TV is. Now the last one, pick a person in your house and see how many spoons tall that person is, or you can have someone in your house measure you to see how many spoons tall you are. Now we need to make sure that we record all of our answers either on this sheet, or if you're doing your own chart at home, just make sure, like I said earlier, number them. Number 1, table, how many spoons. So that way all the information is still on that, the paper when you turn it in. Okay, and make sure your name's at the top. Make sure the name's on the top of all the papers that you turn into us so that we know whose paper it is when they turn them in. And if you have any questions about this activity or just concerns about it, just reach out to your classroom teacher and let them know, and they will get right back to you. Have a good rest of the day.